So tomorrow I'm headed up to Stirling to fly at a few interesting locations. Bannockburn Battlefield will be one of them. The Wallace Monument will be another one. And if I have time, Doon Castle will be my third visit. Now, I'm very interested in AI, and recently I've been working in all sorts of different applications that AI is really good with. And I thought to myself, instead of me planning out all of the flights that I'm going to do tomorrow up at Stirling, I'll input into AI a couple of AI apps, what drone I have, where I'm going, what I'd like to do, and see what AI comes up with. Well, I was quite astounded. There's a very, very detailed list of settings for the drone and particular manoeuvres to make at the Wallace Monument. It included what ND filters I should use, the ISO settings, and the shutter speeds, the frame rate. So I was really interested in the difference between 24 frames per second and 30 frames per second, or 48 frames per second and 60 frames per second using the DJI Mavic 3. The AI program suggested that the 24 frames would give me a much more cinematic feel, and the 30 frames would give a much clearer and smoother image. So that's my main aim today, is to fly around the Wallace Monument here just outside Kilmarnock, that was erected 12 years before the big one up in Stirling, because I can test out all of the different settings, the 24 frames per second and the 30 frames per second, upscaled for the DJI Mavic 3 to 48 and 60, and then when I go back to the studio I can look and see what I think's best. And then when I go up to Stirling tomorrow, I'll have all of the best settings already in the bag. So here's a tractor. I better make sure that I don't get run down here. Let me see. Aye, so what was I saying? Aye, so I'm going to be doing pretty much just an orbit using the monument here as a point of interest, and then maybe a pull back shot. I'll do both of those manoeuvres in 48 frames per second or 24, and also in 30 frames per second or 60. I'll be using Pro mode, and I think an ND16 filter today will probably do it. If it looks too bright on the screen, I might use an ND32, but we'll see once the flight has started what will be better. Now, I'm not going to take you around for a detailed look at the monument today. I've already done that in a previous video, which I will link at the end of this video and also in the description of the video. So if you want to see all of the carvings and a bit of the history of how this Wallace Monument became to be known as the Barn Wheel Monument. I explain all that in another video. But for the moment, I'll get the DJI Mavic 3 out and I'll do that parallax in the two different frames per second settings, and a pull back in the two different frames per second, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I decided I'm going to put an ND32 filter on because it's really bright today. I'm flying 4K 60 frames per second for the first flight. My shutter speed is 1/120, ISO is 100, you can see all this, and it's in pro mode. So let me launch the drone. Okay, and the first thing I'll do is I'll go up to just above the height of those trees there. Okay, now I'm going to set a point of interest. And I'm going to rotate round about the monument. Nice and steady. I'm in normal mode here, not sport or sunny. And I'm relying on the point of interest to keep the drone centred on the monument. It's looking a wee bit dark at the back there. Coming a bit close to those trees as well. That's okay, good. And there we are, back at the front. Okay. Oh, guess what I did? Guess what I forgot to do? Forgot to record. So we'll do that one again. Now, because I'm using a point of interest here, it means that I don't have to worry about keeping the monument centred. The point of interest is going to keep the drone's camera on the centre of the monument for me. So all I have to do is push the stick to the left and it will circle round, as you can see here. Coming back round to the front now. And there we are, back to the front. Okay, so that was the first one. I'm going to take off the point of interest now. And what I'll do this time is, this is for the second shot that I want to be able to test. And I'll use a point of interest again. And in fact I'll use that part of the monument here, point of interest, and I'm going to go back and up. And as I do that, the camera will stay focused on the area that I specified there as the point of interest. Okay. So that's with this shutter speed at 1/120. I'm going to stop that now. When you're in auto mode, the resolution will set to 4K at 60. you can change that to 48 if you like. Okay, so that was it really. All I wanted to do was test. Actually, I wanted to compare. In fact, I'll do that. I'll do that just now. Actually, what I'll do is I will switch to auto mode, and I'll fly at 4K 60 frames per second. Okay, so here we go. 4K at 60 frames per second. Point of interest. Right, I'll just get that again, get up the top of it, mark it as a point of interest, and off we go. So it's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be when you're in pro mode. Once again, what I'm doing here is simply drawing a wee square around the area that I want to focus on, using it as a point of interest, and just holding the left stick, the right stick to the left so that it circles round and keeps the monument dead centre. And we're back at the front, so if I stop it there and switch this time to 4K at 48 frames per second, and just do exactly the same again. Let's bring it down and do the pull back again. So pull back, and we'll keep that bit centred there, and the pull back is going to be in this first one here is 48 frames per second. Okay, let's bring it back. Is going to be 4K at 60 frames a second, and this is an auto. So it's just the same, pull back and go up at the same time. And if I cancel that spotlight, it means I can tilt the gimbal up and have a look around the area. Very, very sunny, quite windy as well. If I switch over to Pro mode here, with the ND32 filter on, to me on the screen it looks much nicer, but I won't know until I get back to the studio and put them up which one looks better. But it certainly looks like the one with the Pro mode and ND32 is looking good to me. Okay, so return to home. So it didn't go exactly the way I planned, but that's just as well, and that's why I came out today. Before I go to the big monument up in Stirling tomorrow, I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what I was going to be doing. In another video I'm going to talk about how I applied for permission to fly at the Wallace Monument, and I'll take you through a step-by-step guide of how that went. Right, as I was saying in another video, I'll take you through a step-by-step guide of the process that I went through to apply to fly at Wallace Monument. Now you can go there and fly if you want without permission. There are ways of doing that, but it means that you can't go to the spot that I'll be going to, and it also means that you may encounter some people complaining, moaning at you, and we don't want to be auditors, do we? So in one of the next videos coming up, I'll take you through the process. Very, very easy to get permission to fly at the Wallace Monument. On this video, you won't be able to see the comparison of the 24 and the 48, of the 48 and the 60 frames per second videos side by side, because when you create the project, you have to specify what the frame rate is going to be for the video, and you can't mix two videos. But what I will be doing is I'll be putting all of the different comparisons up on as separate individual videos, which will be available to the members. Now, if you're not a member, it's only £2 a month to become a member, and you'll get to see videos like that aren't really worth publishing on the main channel. And you'll also get to see behind the scenes stuff, outtakes, and wee personal things that I put up there on the membership. So if you'd like to join, it's only £2 a month. And if you don't want to join, but you'd like to give me a super chat or a super thanks for this video, please click the wee thingy, whatever it is, and a couple of pound would be really appreciated. Thanks very much. Cheerio the now.